Morning, ladies and gentlemen. Just getting on to the story about my ex-wife now. This is the story that people accuse me of being a rapist. The last time I saw my wife, my ex-wife, we had an argument over child support, and then she disappeared. That was the last time I saw my wife. That was after this event occurred that I'm going to tell you about. This event happened weeks before. Maybe even a month, I'm not too sure how long before my wife actually disappeared, and we had seen each other after this event. But this is an event I want to tell you about because people are calling me a rapist for it. Okay, one day I went over to MERVY's house, 2006 sometime. Towards the end of 2006, I think. Everything was good, everything was fine. And we were still sleeping together. We were separated, but we were still seeing each other. We were in each other's lives quite often. Me seeing my daughter and babysitting her, and seeing my wife, ex-wife at the time. So one day we're getting all heated up, you know, on the couch. We used to have this red couch. We used to have sex on it quite often. And anyway, this one time she had white jeans on. We're getting all hot and heated. And then I used to bend her over the couch. So she had her knees on the floor. And she leaned on the couch like that. Sometimes her knees were on the couch. And I'd fuck her standing up. But this time, yeah, I'm pretty sure her knees were on the floor, and I had her pants and jeans pulled down like to her knees. They weren't completely off. So she was bending over doggy style, leaning on the couch. And I was trying to get my dick into her pussy. I'm not sure how to explain it. If I should say, I was trying to get my penis into her vagina. I'm not sure, but anyway, I'll say I was trying to get my penis into her vagina. Sounds strange. Now, I couldn't see her vagina or her butthole, right? I couldn't see any of them. Now, this was a usual practice. Most of the time, I couldn't see it, so I just put my dick there and like give it a rub kind of thing, you know, and try to get my penis in the right spot, and then start pushing, and then, you know, I'm thinking it's a vagina. That was the usual practice, and then it's all good. So anyway, I was trying there for a while to get my dick in, and I couldn't see anything. I'm just like that there, trying to get my dick in, and then by the time I finally got my dick in a certain way, I was coming. I was about to come, and so I started, I held her by the hips and I started fucking her a little harder, you know, because I'm coming. And then I'm not sure what she said or whatever, or if she said hold on or stop, wait. I'm not exactly sure because I was coming at this time. So I grabbed her and I started fucking her a little harder. And then my dick slipped out because I think she pulled off. And then I put my dick back in very quickly. It must have only been like 2 seconds as it slipped out because I was still coming. I stuck my dick back in quite quickly. And like kind of pumped her a few more times and finished it off, you know. And then my wife was crying. She was crying, and she was really upset, and she was laying on the floor and she was in tears crying. And I didn't know what had happened, right? And I said to her, baby, like, what's the matter? This and that. But she was pretty upset with me, and she was crying, and she said to me, why did you do that to me? And I didn't know what she was talking about. I'm pretty sure I remember she said, why did you do that to me? And I didn't know what she was talking about, and I wasn't sure what I was done, and she was crying, and then I realized that my penis was in her butt. It wasn't actually in her vagina. And I didn't know that. There was no way I would want to hurt my wife or stick my penis in her butt. You know what I'm saying? If I wanted to do that, I could have asked my wife, and I'm pretty sure she would have let me do it. You know what I mean? So I didn't mean to do it. And I've never had a chance to talk to her about this. And I hope that, anyway, like all this time, people have been thinking that I done something like that on purpose, and maybe her. We've never discussed this. Because after that event, we still saw each other. And I was going to pick up my daughter to go babysit her. And we had an argument over child support. And that's the last time I saw her. And I never saw her again after that argument about child support. I was actually going to pick my baby up to babysit her. It wasn't because of this year that she left. I think people think that this is the reason why she left. I think this is the reason. I think this is the excuse that she uses about why she left. Because of what she done. She left and I didn't know where they were for 8 years, and I never found my baby, my daughter. She just left with her out of my life. And anyway, she was on the floor crying, and I apologized to her and I said, I'm sorry, Merv, I didn't know. And I wasn't sure what to do then, you know. I didn't know what to do. She was upset, she was crying and stuff, and I didn't mean to hurt her. I'd never do that on purpose, you know what I mean? I didn't mean to hurt her. I love my wife. No, I still do. That's something I would never do on purpose, and I hope that she doesn't think that's something I ever done on purpose. I've never had a chance to talk to her and explain it to her. All these years I've been walking around, I didn't even know that that's an issue. I only found out that people were looking at me like a rapist for the scenario last year. So that means the last 10 years I've been walking around, people think I done that on purpose to her. You know what I'm saying? And the systems labeled me a dog, a rapist, and a pedophile, and a pervert, bro, for all this stuff. So that's what happened with me and my wife. And I never meant to hurt her, and that was never meant to happen. And I'm not sure if maybe she knew, or she was feeling in some kind of mood that she was actually letting me have anal sex with her. You know what I'm saying? Because I was pushing on there for a while until I got my dick in, you know what I'm saying? So the way I see it, if I was pushing on there for a while, she would have known that that's her butt. Maybe she was willing to let me do it. And I didn't know that she was willing to let me do it. And I assumed it was a vagina and not a butt. So I didn't use the right etiquette for anal sex, you know what I'm saying? Because you have to do it differently to having normal vaginal sex, you know what I'm saying? So because I figured that because I was there for a while. I didn't just stick it in. I was there for a while trying to get it in. So she might have known, and she might have been willing to let me do it, and I just didn't do it right because I didn't know that it was the wrong hole. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if I wanted to do that, I would have asked. So unfortunately it happened like that, but I mean it wasn't on purpose. But people have made me a dog for this story. Because with Haley, I was trying to stick my dick in and my dick was soft. So I'm not sure what they've seen on camera. It might just look like I'm trying to do whatever or stick my dick wherever. And then this happened with my ex-wife. Then there's another scenario I want to tell you about, but I want to do it on a separate video. I'm going to come back and tell you. So like I said, after this happened, this scenario where we had anal sex without realizing it, and it ended up quite a bad situation. After this, I was still seeing my wife and talking to her. I went to pick up my baby to babysit her for the night while my wife went out. And that didn't happen because we had an argument about child support. So after this scenario, we were still friends and we were still seeing each other. This is not the reason she left. I don't want to get too deep into other reasons and other people. But there's something I said to my wife that I remember. Also one time, because this is all related to anal sex and people are calling me a truckie, right? Which means I just slam my dick into people's butts, women's butts. People have oppressed me from women and cock-blocked me and ruined my quality of life over these innocent scenarios, bro. I was also seeing Maresce Chillum at the time. She came over a couple of times, and I took Maresce to meet my ex-wife because we both had daughters around the same age, right? Now, me and Maresce were just catching up and seeing each other. But my wife and me were separated. I still love my wife. So my wife started talking to me about Maresce one time. And to blow my wife off about Maresce, I just said to her something like, she takes it in the butt, man, whatever. You know, I said that about Maresce. Now, I didn't mean that literally. I just said that to blow off the conversation of my wife talking about Maresce, because I didn't want to talk about Maresce. I wanted to talk about my wife and our relationship and our future. You know what I mean? Maresce was just a friend to me. So I did say that. So I'm not sure if people are talking about that, because I said, yeah, when she said, my wife said to me about Maresce, I said, yeah, she takes it about this and that. But it was nothing malicious. It was nothing meant to be. It was just me blowing off the conversation, because I didn't want to talk about Maresce. I wanted to talk about the woman I loved and the mother of my babies, you know. So it was nothing ever malicious. It was just, it was probably a bad choice of words, but it was just me blowing off conversation about somebody else I didn't want to talk about. So anyway, there's another story coming up, but I want to put it on a different segment.